All right, welcome to part 2 of my 50 moving average trend line break strategy. This video is basically trying to get you to understand that we can become profitable without all of the nonsense in the marketplace. All right, basically you can win sooner than later. All right, let me see, this is the euro dollar. We already discussed trend line break strategy, entering on the breakout. Below the 50 is sales territory, above the 50 is buy territory. So I don't think I need to explain that any further. I think at this point, if you still can't see it when you're alive, and that's why you got to practice on your demo right now. As soon as the markets open up, practice on your demo, because that's where I discovered that visually I still couldn't pinpoint. And next thing you know, time passed and I missed entries, and you miss more entries, and the ones you get turn out to be duds, because you will have losers trading the Forex market. You will have losers. But the kicker comes in is trying to understand, not giving up, being consistent with your trading plan so you can move forward without any hesitation, executing your trades and winning more than you're losing. That's the name of the game. The reason people blow their accounts is they over leverage their account without knowing the proper strategy. And then they give up only on the losers, and the winners, they cut short. Okay. So this is where we need to make some fundamental changes as to what our trading plan should be and sticking to the plan. But if you still are having it hard pressed, trying to see visually where the market could be and what direction we should be heading or focusing on without just going up and down, because we're not that type of scalper, then you need to know that there are other tools out there that can help you. Now, I'm going to show you some things that's been making it profitable, because when it comes down to scalping the market, I suck at it. I suck royally at it. I am not really a good scalper until now. Past couple of weeks has been awesome. And while I'm taking my intraday trades, while I'm in one swing trade for the next 2 weeks or whatnot, I like to be able to make more money. You know, at the end of the day, as you get better at your trading, you want to start bringing in more revenue. That's just the name of the game. And the way I've been able to do that is this. Should have a drum roll. A tool that has already been on my MT4 platform the whole time. Again, we're just talking about a visual. This is the same pair, the euro dollar on the hour chart. As you can see, we had a trend line break as we did before. But the difference is my Triple Arrow System is in it. My 50 moving average line, it has a buy and a sell color change. And I have the alligator up there. Now, if you want to know what the alligator indicator is, then I would suggest go on YouTube and check it out. There's a lot of free videos out there for you. I don't want to go in detail here. I'd rather say, hey, when the green crosses over the red, then we are in sell territory. When it crosses in a downward fashion, when it crosses in a upward fashion, then we are in a buy territory. So that's how I view it. That's how I see the alligator, right? So in conjunction with the trend line break, with the head and shoulders, we also have a sell signal. Now, I don't need to tell anybody why this is such important, especially if you backtest and you've seen that this thing has been accurate every single time. Let me be clear with you on this. It has been accurate every single time. Now, how is the big arrow of the Triple Arrow System accurate every single time when we know that the big arrow repaints? Meaning, if the market just so happened to paint a arrow, and then somehow or another this just bypassed it just a little bit, just a little bit, this arrow is going to repaint and then all of a sudden move to this candle. So it moves big time. Well, we're not taking entries on the big arrow. We're trying to figure out, can we confirm that market is going in that direction? All right. To further confirm that the market is going in that direction, we then need to rely on a couple of other tools. That is where the trend line breaks come in. That's where the cross of the alligator comes in. That's where we know that we should be in sell or buy territory comes in, the 50 moving average line. You see what I'm saying? So these confirmations should be the way you get in the market. It should be enough for you to take that trade. Because if you execute that trade, you're going to have a win. You got too many things on your chart that says, hey, take that trade. Get in now. Understand that this is a high probability setup all day. Okay? Now, let's move on. Because we already been through this. We already seen that the market was in a choppy scenario. We thought we were bullish, but we're really not. Because until I see a different arrow going in the opposite directions, I would not be taking a buy trade. We are clearly in a selling position here. Even though we're out of the trade, we're looking for sales. We're looking for reasons to sell. That's my only focus. Again, until I see a reverse arrow like it was right here with this choppiness, which is another it's another way of me saying I'm not taking any of these trades. See, I wouldn't be taking these trades. Yes, that trade looked like it worked out, but because of the news, because of fundamentals that came out, I would not be taking that trades. I'll just sit out the next couple of hours. I'll go do something else, focus on another income stream, whatever I gotta do. But I'm sitting out because too many times for me, this never worked out. Yes, right now it looked like it did. Okay, would have been a nice little setup. Okay, cool. But too many times it don't work out for me. So when news come out, if I ain't already in that trade, I'm not getting in. I'm gonna wait for another setup. And that's what we did. We waited for another setup, ended up going short, and it worked out. Now, we looking for another long setup? No. Big arrow says we're going short. So I'm waiting for the setup to go short. Another little tit pro quo for me is I don't really trade long body candles. So this whole setup for me, I wouldn't have been in. All right. But once we got up to here, I work in patterns on 3. We got 1, 2, 3. We have a head and shoulders. So if you can't visually see that, then you need to mark your line like we did in the last chart. All right. You mark your line. Next thing you know, the market could not break above this ceiling here. Right. So it's hitting some resistance big time. All right. So again, further confirmation that we really should be looking at short trades only. All right. Yes, there's a bunch of market moving, but we consider this to be choppy. I would not be in on this. So what I'm looking for now is a breakout. We need a breakout. Where is the breakout? Right here. Now, without the trend line, let's take that out. Without the trend line, if you're not doing the trend line breaks, we still have a breakout, which is right here because there's green cross over the red, which would be right on this candle. All right. You get in a little late. These indicators are lagging, but you still would have made 30 some odd pips. But if you got in because you can see that there was a breakout with the trend line here, then you would have got in right here. Boom. Either way, it's still a profitable trade because we were confirmed on both sides that the market was going down. All right. Another trend line break right here to keep going down further. Then the alligators are widening a little bit, which also indicates that even though we had a retracement, it still didn't break above this alligator tool. So again, go short. It broke above at this point, but we're not looking for long trades because we don't have any indication that we should be looking at long setups. So we're looking for, again, a trend line break. I can go on and on, folks. I mean, look at this. It finally broke after the big arrow says we're now going long. It finally broke. Big arrow shows an indication. Now, in my viewpoint, the big arrow was here at one point, and we had a pullback, and then we had a slow further decline. So if you weren't already in this trade, you either would have got out here with the big arrow showed up, or if you like me, if I'm already profitable for the day, I tend to stay in the trade and lower my lot size. So I would have took some money off the table and let the other ones roll, and that would have kept rolling down until it would stop me out. We call that a trailing stop. Okay, so a big arrow popped up. Then we started showing full body candles to the upside. Now that's the indicator. When do we get in though? Now we get in when the alligator confirms. And this is where we have a true confirmation. It's right up here. Okay. But for me, I wouldn't get in until I see a breakout. Okay. This is not really a breakout. This is a push to the upside after all this downward momentum. And I don't like taking trades like that. So I have a tendency to wait. And for me, because I already know that the big arrow is popping up, we don't know about all this over here. We don't know that this is going to go up, or it could come back down, retest this low, and big arrow could have moved. A lot of that could have happened after we come from a big trend move. Okay. You got to remember that it takes time to figure out things like that. But at the end of the day, This is important. Now, market came back down. Then we had another push up with another cross. So for me, this one candle is the golden goose for me. It just did a breakout. It broke above all the ceiling, most recent ceiling. So for me, that's my entry to get in. Put my stop below here, so I'll be around 50 pips. And you wait and see what happens. You wait and see what happens. I'm out. I'm out. That's a 1-to-1 trade. I'm out all day long. Now, again, this can happen all day. As you can see, we have a buy signal. So we're looking for buys at all times. We in a little choppiness. There's been hours of choppiness, a couple of days. We had a weekend in between. Move on to the next. We're looking for another buy. We get another cross. It works out. We're looking for another buy. We got to pull down, but then we got to pull up. I'm looking for the entry. Here's my entry right here. We go long all day long until we got a sell signal. We got a sell signal. We going down. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, even if the sell signal was right here, we had the big arrow pointing down. We have no reason to go short in the market. None whatsoever. All right. So just keep that in mind, that the big arrow is your turning point. All right. But your confirmation is your other tools. It's your trend line break. Are we below the 50 moving average line? Are we heading towards the 50 moving average line or below it? If we already are, we still need further confirmation that we're going short or long. Very simple setups, folks. I think that we go into something here, and I'm going to be utilizing this setup for a lot of my scalping trades, because if I can show you something real quick, 1 minute. On the 5-minute chart, the big arrow points the same way. This is amazing. Okay. Entry right here. All right. Now, the difference is on a scalping trade, I'm not going for 30, 40, 100 pips or whatever. I'm going for 10 to 15. Sometimes if I see it breaking out on a larger time frame, I might stay in, because if you get it on the 5-minute chart and you're going in the direction of the trend, oh man, you got in as early as possible. That's the best way to set up. But my main focal point is scalping for 10 to 15 pips, point blank. All right. The one thing I like about the alligators, it helps you to confirm if we're in a breakout or if we're in a choppy pattern. I avoid choppy patterns, and I look for the breakout of that choppy situation in order to stay in good trades. All right. So do you want to avoid all the noise? A lot of people say, hey, I don't really like indicators. Okay, well, if you don't like indicators, just stick with a moving average line. Do your trend line breaks. You would still be just as profitable. The difference is, for me, it don't work for me. All right. So just keep that in mind, that there is no one way to still get to the end zone. You need to figure out what works for you. Now, if you have any other questions, if you're looking for a way to get into the currency market and you're just not quite sure what direction to go in, you think this is overly complicated, you just see a bunch of lines, squiggly situations on the chart, I'm going to tell you right now, you can be profitable in the market. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. It don't even take a mathematician to make it in the currency market. I have many examples of how you can be profitable, how you can win on a daily basis. But don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're probably going to have some losses in the beginning. All right. I don't want to discourage you, because we have paper trading. So you don't have to have your real money to trade the market until you get used to the strategy, to get used to executing a trade setup as it comes. A lot of people wants to jump right in, mess up, and then they say it don't work. That's not how this is set up. It's set up for you to get used to the way the big banks move the market. All right, folks, that's it for part 2. I do not have a part 3, but I probably will start presenting a different strategy in the coming weeks here. If I don't, then I'm probably going to move right into showing you my charts and how I enter a trade and exit a trade. That is it, folks. Enjoy your weekend.